They suit me and my wife up with full chainmail, like we basically put it in underneath our wetsuit.
I hate those. They clog my internet up every single time.
How much do you think a chainmail suit complete from
40, 50 pounds?
Hold on, a chain, like how much it weighs?
No, how much it costs.
It costs.
Oh, yeah, the cost is going to be...
I'm going to say $1,500.
7 G's.
Wow.
$7,000 for each suit.
Oh, my God.
Because they have to be handmade.
That's
like
a lot of
all the
gravity.
Chainmail. So, so you put on the suit and it's
Why can't
heavy.
they can get a machine to make that? Come on.
Was it tight on you?
No, it's like wearing a heavy sweater, like a sweatsuit. It's odd because it's
how much it weigh?
It's soft. It's probably like 25
extra 20 pounds or something.
Yeah, maybe 30 pounds or whatever. And then
you can hide that.
So you're wearing like a full from head or bottom your feet to the
what about your neck?
No neck.
Oh, they'll get you in the neck. They know.
That's what they know.
They know.
So
it's like shooting a bank robber in heat.
So
aim for the neck. They're too much body armor.
We are doing our feeding in this area called the arena, which is basically white sand, beautiful, about 40, 45 feet of water, and then there's rocks all around.
Spartacus
so it's like
blood in the sand.
It's like an arena area. So we go down with the bait box, and instantly, like when we're down there, the sharks start coming, like 30 or 40 of them.
Get them. They're in the chainmail.
That's gotta freak you out, though.
But we saw from the original encounter how little they cared about us.
Docile they are.
I mean, they're not aggressive. Like the whole thing with the
I'm looking at this photo. It's drunky in the middle, and there's like 10 huge sharks around him. Now,
it's fascinating.
And they're beautiful, aren't they?
Are these sharks the kind that, I mean, if they wanted to attack you,
I mean,
they'd eat you up?
Like, here's the they do tell you, if you're on the surface and you're splashing around and you got like
yelling
a cut on
help,
you're screwed.
With a missing foot.
They could bite you, but the problem is
these aren't great white though.
No, but they could.
Big.
I mean, if you did the wrong things, they'll bite you, and if you like did something crazy, I mean, you could get hurt for sure. I mean, but the problem is that once they know, like they bite into you, they do a test bite. So they kind of like, imagine you take your arm or your hand and kind of grab your forearm and squeeze a little bit. That's what a bite feels like. It's nothing at all, because as soon as they bite down to test bite and they know it's not what they normally eat, they'll let go. And they won't even put their teeth in. It's weird because their entire jaw will come out when they feed.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And then their jaw and all their teeth will come and clamp down. But when they bite you and like the chainmail or whatever, you barely feel it. Like they know the difference between the fish. So anyway, it's our time to feed now. We've been through the whole instruction, everything like that. Charlotte's, told us she's an expert, and we're down there. So I'm feeding first. I feed, and it's crazy. You have to hold the bait box. You pull the spear with the fish head out, and then you have to kind of lead the shark and like put the bait underneath his nose, because sharks attack with motion. You know, like if you move around a lot. Like if I just stuck my hand and started moving it around, it would be like, oh, there's something there.
So you took your regulator out, put the fish head in your mouth. That's dangerous.
No, I mean, they'll get confused, and they'll like turn at the last second and then bump your face and then be like, whoa. I mean, so you have sharks in your face everywhere. They're swarming around you so much where they're underneath you, bumping your head and stuff like that. They're everywhere. So I feed a couple times. It's an unbelievable experience. Like they bite down and you feel the force and you pull the stick out, and then like the other ones are around there, and it's insane the feeling you get when you're surrounded by that many sharks and then actually feeding them and you're in the chainmail.
There's a little fear there, right?
Yeah.
But it's good.
Your heart is beating and you got adrenaline going, because there's no matter, like, even though you know these sharks aren't going to bite you, when you're swarmed by 30 different sharks and they're 10 feet, you're like, oh man, this is, I mean, your pupils are dilated.
Are you thinking like they're reading my thoughts? They know I'm scared. They're going to bite me.
No, they could sense your heartbeat too. They could, if you get like
Terminator.
If you get more nervous, they get more like on edge. They're like, oh, what's this? You know. But so then my wife goes, and this is the funny part, and it had to happen to my wife. Now my wife was so apprehensive about doing this because she was like, I don't want to interrupt their natural feeding habits and stuff. And then Charlotte, our instructor, she's a conservationist, and she was like, listen, we feed them a couple fish heads and the spines that we get from restaurants, recycled, and like they have to eat like 3 or 4 fish a day. This does not interrupt their their diet, their feeding patterns, or their migration patterns at all. Believe me, we're doing way more good, and they still have to hunt and do everything. So we're not like messing with their natural feeding pattern at all. So my wife was real comfortable. So she goes down there, and it's her time to feed. Now she feeds a couple times, awesome, and you can see the actual feed shots on the website, like her feeding, and both of us have great shots. And then so my wife goes, and it's like a third or fourth time into it, she goes and she's leading the shark, but now another shark comes in next to her, like closer to her body. So as soon as the shark bites onto the fish head, she goes to pull the spear out of its mouth, and another shark bites her hand, right? And so as soon as that shark bites her hand, she goes to pull, and then it grabs the spear, and then she lets the spear go, and the shark bites the spear, and now has the spear.
Killed it.
But no, the spear
So now you got a shark with a spear in his mouth.
Yeah, but the spear is like has this big square.
Immediately turns upside down dead. She killed it. Oh, that'd be the worst thing. Her mask is filling with tears. Her mask is like right up the nose line with tears. She
This is
killed the
not
shark.
part of our conservation program.
Blood everywhere. His head falls off.
So my wife.
The worst thing ever.
So they do the upside down circular thing to
blood
death.
spraying.
Yeah, it's just spraying blood like she cut it with a samurai sword.
So
She's like, what did I do?
So the spear is now in the shark's mouth, similar to Jaws.
Don't
that
run
has,
with a toothbrush in your mouth.
That has the tank in its
Oh,
mouth
yeah,
and
the
doesn't
tank,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but it has this big square so they can't swallow it. It's designed.
Does they start stabbing her with the spear?
No,
in the butt, in her butt.
So the shark doesn't even know what's going on, and it just swims away. But now it's got the spear sticking out, and I'll put pictures up of the spear because I wanted to tell the story before people saw the pictures and be like, oh, they.
So she feels
a
bad
shark
for it. She puts her mask on the shark.
No, so my wife, because my wife is animal crazy and thinks she did something wrong.
after it.
She's like, oh, no, God knows, yeah. She starts, because the shark is now coming back for the food, but it has a big square spear sticking out of its mouth. It has no idea, and it's just like, one more food, like, like swimming around. So every time the shark circles, my wife is grabbing at the spear, but it'll just come like, and then be away.
You ain't getting my spear.
Like just getting close enough to her to where she'd like reach out and be like, oh, and then it'd be like, ew. So my wife, I could tell her entire demeanor change. She's like, oh my God. Now this happens, multiple times. So they know the shark just drops the spear out. Like it's designed, it's not barbed or anything. So the shark is swimming around, but now my wife is not paying attention to the shark feeding. She's just watching the shark with the with the square spear.
It's trying to kill her with the spear.
Swimming around, and she's just like, oh no! And then it would swim off into the dark and like the distance, and then we'd be like, oh, and then here it comes back.
Oh, there it is. He's got the spear.
Like every time I saw it, I was like, there it is. Now I'm feeding the sharks. I'm having an unbelievable time. Then I'm pretty sure the shark spit the spear out because then it comes back, and we're like, oh, it doesn't have the spear.
So. Lost the spear. How much? They're specially made, handmade, just like the suits.
So
$7,000.
This is the most amazing part of the whole thing. So we're feeding these sharks. So all of a sudden, our shark expert, Charlotte, a big-ass 10-foot reef shark comes in between both of us, and she grabs a hold of it, and then with her front, like 4 fingers, puts her fingers over to like right there where its mouth and nose is, and then just starts tickling it like with the chainmail, and the shark's eyes roll back in its head.
Oh, there you go.
And then it hypnoptizes it.
Oh, yeah, like a lizard.
It totally stops moving, and then she's holding this 10-foot shark, tickling its nose, and then
You mean like when you turn an alligator
Yes.
upside down?
It was exactly it. It stopped moving, and then now she literally.
I didn't know you could do it with a shark.
She literally hands me the shark, and she's like showing me with hey, tickle its
Here's its
snout.
penis.
And then she's like, and then I start doing this, and I'm holding a 10-foot reef shark.
Don't go down even an eighth of an inch, or he will bite your.
You're really close to his shark being.
By its fin, by its dorsal fin, and I'm tickling its nose, and it's just sitting there docile. I'm holding a shark, and it's just and its eyes are rolled back.
I always
and
thought
it's
sharks had to keep moving in order to have water go through their gills.
They don't. I saw its gills moving. It's fine, and I'm like, and then after about like 1 minute of just sitting there, and then it was like it like kind of woke up from its trance, and then just
That's when it was pissed off.
Swam away.
That's when it went for your neck.
And I'm like, that is the coolest thing I ever did. And then we started doing it to like the multiple sharks, like tickling its snout, and then
You mean right on the end of the nose?
yeah, right at the end of the nose. And what she said was,
Next time I'm attacked, I'm going to do that.
what she said was because it got
Come here, man with a gun at ATM.
so many
that'll
sensors,
teach you.
because I went back up and I was like, when we got back up, I was like, what was the thing you tickled his nose, and then it became hypnotized.
Never heard that.
She's like, it's got so many sensors because that's how it feeds, like
right,
all around its nose area, or
Right.
whatever. That when you tickle with your fingers using the chainmail, it
Virtually certain my car has more sensors than that chain.
it basically puts them into like an orgasmic state, and they just
Oh, wow.
they feel like
Sharkgasm.
like they you give them a sharkgasm, and then they just stay
Did
still.
you see
and they
their
like it.
weenies?
No, I didn't see any
Did you
weenies.
see their weenies?
But I'm tickling it. I'm like, man,
I'd be curious.
only if the captain of Jaws knew about this trick.
Yeah.
When it was eating his feet, he could have been like, he could get like, when it's
This
eating,
boat will be fine.
Oh, when it's eating his feet, he could have just reached up and
I'm
and the
shocked.
shark
I mean, we've never seen that before. You would think that'd be something that that Jack Hanna or some or what's the crocodile hunter or somebody would have done just because that would be fascinating. Oh my God! Like you put a shark to sleep by tickling his nose.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting your entire bottom of legs, you're just like.
Hey.
Yes,
Why
Charles?
you doing that?
I'm tickling your
Can we
nose.
talk about this before? Why you messing with a damn shark? Why you doing that?
I know,
You know what they say, man?
what?
Yup D.
The what?
Hashtag Yup D.
What
What does that mean?
Yup,
You only pet dog. You only pet dog. We ain't petting no goddamn shark.
So then,
Well, you shouldn't curse, Black God.
so
You're petting no me damn shark.
Much better.
I'm putting up all the pictures of my trip thanks to Caradonna and Stuart Cove's dive adventure. But Caradonna, they put together an unbelievable
Thank
trip.
you, Stuart.
You can win the same trip by going on their Facebook.
We talked to Stuart.
And I'll end.
He's super nice.
I'll end with this. When we're on our plane ride home, I'm sitting there, and it's the end of the. It always sucks on the plane ride home because you're like, man, I'm leaving paradise or
Yeah.
whatever. And so I've had a couple beers in the airport, and I'm sitting there, and my wife is sitting next to me, and she's like, oh man, when we get home, we got to mow the lawn. You got to clean all the acorns out of the
some
gutter
laundry.
because it's acorn crazy. We got to do all this
Lena
laundry that
needs
we
her
didn't.
meds.
And I'm sitting there. She's listing things,
Pool
all
is
these things to
probably
do.
green.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm buzzed crazy. And I got a beer on the click on my way a ride home, trying to get that last bit of the Bahamas. And I'm looking at her, and it all becomes silent. And I'm looking at her, and I reach my hand over the top of her head, and she's like looking out the window. She's telling me all these things. And I'm like. And she slapped my hand out, and I'm like, God, it doesn't work on my wife. If only I could
it
put her to
yourself.
sleep.
Do it yourself.
If only I was married to a shark, life would be a lot easier. Just put her to sleep every time she bitches. Tickle her nose. Play my outro. Thanks, Caradonna.